We should take anti-corruption as a given. Like, anti-corruption is important. It's morally important. We don't want corrupt leaders, but it's not
Given
enough.
na yan, yeah.
It should be taken as a given.
Yeah.
Right? So what we should be looking for is a kind of synthesis of the kind of reformist anti-corruption, but also the kind of makamasa rhetoric of the populists. So somewhere in between walang korap, walang mahirap, and era para sa mahirap, right? Because kung walang korap, hindi necessarily walang mahirap eh. Kailan may makamasang presidente. And industrial policy can be talked about as something that is pro-masses.
Tama naman si Pinoy na walang corruption. Pero you cannot just stop there. I mean, the political correct term I use for that is inutil liberalism, right? The liberalism which is good in terms of saving you from corruption, saving you from tyranny, and then it stops there.
Yeah, and that's why I think, we were talking about why did BAM make it? Why did Kiko make it? And earlier, why did Risa make it? I think they were representing an alternative, but also there was a clear social protection message for all those candidates, like Kiko with agriculture, BAM with education, and Risa with healthcare, right? For me, this should be the new face of opposition. It's not just that we're clean, we're going to deliver services. And I think that's working. Because also, if you look at the surveys, people are not looking for anti-corruption candidates. In 2020, that was not the top concern anymore. The top concern was kandidatong may magagawa. And I think an activist state is precisely that, a state na may magagawa. And a kandidato na may magagawa represents an activist state.